Hello everyone, welcome back to my crafty corner. I am Jean Bobish, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and I want to welcome you here today. This is Thursday, September 21st, and I hope you are all having a fabulous Thursday. I've been busy crafting away here in my craft room. I'm working on some photo albums. They're those real complicated ones with all the flaps and the pockets and all that fun thing. So I've been working on that. So I'm kind of like, my mind is in that mode instead of like the card mode. But we're going to get back in the card mode and hope that you guys will like this card. I'm going to be using some of our Halloween products today. We're going to also use our gel press. We're going to do some coloring. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And this is the card that we're going to make. And I used the gel press to create this adorable background. And I used our Fall Fest prints back here with all the little candies on it. Aren't they cute? And since he has candies in his bag, I thought it was a perfect match for this particular card. So let me get you guys up in the overhead position. Excuse my hand there. Gets in the way every time. I will turn this around and get this set up just like so. Now, all of the products that I am using today can be purchased on my website, funstampersjourney.com/Jeanne Bobish. Now, the first thing we're going to be using is our Ghostly Treats stamp and die set. And we've used this in the past for this adorable little ghost, but today we're going to use the little pumpkin. We're going to use our Halloween silhouettes, but we're just going to use the stamp set today for this October 31st stamp. And then we're going to use our Tag Elements dies to cut that out. Of course, we're going to be using our beautiful Color Burst pencils, which I absolutely adore. We're going to be using our Candy Apple Lemon Drop paint and our gel press. Now let me remind you that these are all on sale till the end of the month for 20% off. So if you like them, grab them. Don't wait till the last minute, because at the end of the month, Fun Stampers Journey is really busy shipping out orders and bloom boxes. And if you want to get yours in a timely fashion, order before the end of the month. Don't wait till the last minute. Now we're going to use a piece of paper from our Fall Fest prints, and that's going to be the black with all the little pieces of candy on it. So let's start by playing with our gel press. And I'm going to bring it out here, and all it is this neat piece of like jelly. It's really a cool thing to play with. And you're going to need a brayer. The brayer is also on sale, 20% off. And then we're going to need some paper, and we're going to need our paints. So I'm going to take my red and just put a few little blops here and there. And then I'm going to grab my lemon drop and add some of that here and there. Now, as you know, yellow and red make orange. So we're going to get some neat color variations. And I'm going to take my brayer and just kind of go over it like so until I get a look that I like. And I'll take my paper and I'll just press it on that paint. And yeah, it could get a little messy, but that's okay. That's the fun of it. And look how gorgeous that print is. So, I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to go over it again. And take another piece of paper and just pick up the areas that I like. Let's see how this one turned out. Oh, isn't that pretty? Really pretty, pretty prints. Now, like I said, I'm just going to keep doing that. Whoops, I picked up a little piece of paper. Don't want to do that. And as I start to use up the ink, my images are going to get a little fainter and a little different. Now look at that. Isn't that cool? I mean, if you haven't purchased a gel press or tried it yet, oh my gosh, you're in for a treat. Now I'm just going to clean this up by taking some of the paper, or taking my piece of paper and just moving it randomly around and picking up color wherever I have. So now I have a fan on here, so this is really drying a lot faster than I would like it to. But you can also freshen it up by adding more, or you can take your brayer if you have any paint left on it, which I have very little, and just go over it like that. Now, something else you can do is you can take some, let's see, let's show you something really cool. Let's take some citrus cooler, and I'm just going to splash this right on here like that. Just to show you that you don't have to just use paint. And let's just press this down and pick up some of that orange from the citrus cooler. And that's really starting to look pretty. You can add silks, you can add splashes, you can do whatever you want. But I'm going to set these aside now to dry. Because I am going to use one that I had done in the past, and I really like the variations in that one. So that's the one I'm going to use for today, but I want to take a baby wipe and wipe this off before this paint really dries on here. Because like I said, I forgot to turn my fan off when I started filming, so things are drying faster than I would like. Now I'm going to take another baby wipe, and we want to make sure that we clean our brayer off also, because we don't want the paint to dry on that. And it already has, but at least it's not totally dry. So I'm just wiping this off quickly. And then when I'm done with my video, I can go back and do a better job. But I want to get the most of that paint off before I go on. So just bear with me here for a moment. And I'll set this stuff out of my way and clean off my hands. Alright, now let's do some coloring. I've already stamped our little fella here on a piece of whipped cream cardstock. And as I said, we're going to color him in with our Color Burst pencils. So I have a little cheat sheet here so I know what colors I used. And let's see if I can get these over here. We're going to start with number 16, and I want to kind of do the highlight areas on my pumpkin. In other words, wherever I want it to look like it's lighter on him. So I'm just picking those areas and coloring them in. Now let me see if I can get you in a little bit closer. Whoop. little bit closer. If I move him over there, okay. If I keep him right there, we should be pretty good. Next, I'm going to take number 13, which is this nice orange color, and I'm going to just color in my entire pumpkin, and I'm going to do it very lightly, and I'm going to go over that yellow very lightly. And I like to use small circular strokes. Just fill in that area. And you notice I'm holding my pencil very, very far back. And when you do that, you are unable to add a lot of pressure. So the only way you can color is very lightly. Okay, and I'm going to make this just a little bit darker just by going over with the same pressure. I want to make sure we get in those grooves of the pumpkin. I want to get my original out here so I can see. All right, and we're going to continue on down his body. Just filling it in. I know I'm getting quiet here. I'm going to turn this around. Turn your piece if you have to. Make it more comfortable to get in those areas you need to get into. Like I said, I'm going over that yellow because I'm trying to blend it a little bit, and I don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb. I want it to kind of look gradual. Okay, now I'm going to move up on my pencil because I want to do some shading. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper and a little bit harder around the edges and around the segments of the pumpkin. Of course, under his hat. And as you do it dark, then just gradually lighten up on your pressure until you have it blended in to the lighter areas. And this will help to give him a little bit of dimension, make him look a little bit more realistic. Don't forget to get under his nose. Okay, and then you see how that yellow area looks like he's highlighted there. All right, we're going to do the same thing on his center part here, the center pumpkin. He's kind of pumpkin, but he's made out of pumpkins, so we want to, be sure to shade around his arm. You want to shade under his head, and of course the segments. And go above his arm and blend this in very lightly. I've lost a little of my yellow, so I'm going to come back. Just go over top lightly, and that will bring some of that yellow back. And now we're going to do the bottom part of him. Do these segments. Under his arm, anywhere there would be a shadow. And then we'll come back and deepen that color just by going over it very lightly. Making him look just a little more orange. Now, pumpkins come in all different colors nowadays, so you can really do him any color you want. But when it comes to pumpkins, I'm kind of a traditionalist, and I like my good old orange pumpkins. So he's going to be a regular old orange pumpkin. Now I'm going really dark along the bottom. And like I said, I'm gradually blending that out into the yellow area. And I'm very lightly going over that yellow. I don't want there to be any type of definitions between the light and dark colors. And if you feel you've lost some of your yellow, you can come back and just brighten it up a little bit like so. Next, we're going to take number 14 and we're going to repeat, but just in the darkest areas, which is basically just kind of going around the outside under his hat here and along these lines, segment lines. And I'm pressing rather hard. Not real hard, but I'm using pressure because I want this to be darker than the original orange I used. All right, and then let's come down here around his arm. And this helps to give it a little more depth and really adds to the dimension and the look of the pumpkin. Oops, I got a little bit on the bag there. Okay, on his back. I'm doing this rather quickly here. I know you guys are probably bored to tears. And then I'm going to blend that a little bit so there's not a stark difference. Okay, I think he looks super. Now I'm going to grab an eraser and I want to get this off of his bag because I don't want that on there. All right, now his nose and his arms, we're going to start with number 21. And I'm just going to color them in with this green, just kind of a bright green. And his nose looks like it's kind of a vine. The same with his hands and fingers. Don't forget these ones on this side of the bag. It's like when I was a kid, we'd go trick-or-treating with pillowcases. Kind of looks like what he has, a sack there to collect all his candies in. Okay, I filled those in. I kind of used like a medium pressure just to get them a nice green color. Looking to see if I had any green candies. Well, I had my green pencil, but I didn't, so. Okay. Now we're going to shade that with number 22, which is this color. Whoops. This color here. It's a little bit darker. And basically, I'm just going to go underneath the bottom of his nose. And anywhere you see these little lines. And I'll do like the tips of his fingers. And if they overlap anywhere. And then I'll turn my piece and I'll go along just the bottom of his arm. Like so. All right, he's looking pretty good. So, the next thing is we're going to take number 16, which is our yellow again, and I'm going to do one of the pieces of candy. I'm going to do his hat band. And I want to do the insides of his eyes. Just like so. Alright, and then for the rest of the candy, we're going to take number 3. And so we'll do one this red color. You could pick any colors you want. I just wanted to make it cute and colorful. Let's see, I used number 13. And of course, I don't have these in order. 13. Did one up here. 26, which is in the bottom tray, I believe. 26, yes, that's a blue. And I do these 2 little pieces here, blue. Hope I'm not out of, I moved my tin. I hope I'm not, oh no, I'm still good. Okay. Like so. And 36. 30. It would help if I put these in order. There we go. 36 is kind of a purpley color. And I'll do this last piece like so. Now the only other thing we have to do is his sack, which I'm going to use number 45. And we're just going to shade lightly in between his fingers. And you see these wrinkles and creases in the fabric. We want to make sure we do that. And I'll do a little bit around the candy. And then I'm just going to go around the outside edges of the bag. And gray is always a good way to shade white. It's not real bold. It's not real in your face, but it gives it a nice little shade. You can also use blue too. So let me see if I can bring you guys back out. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Thank you, Joan. All right, now we're going to take a product that I use, which is called Gamsol. Let me give you a warning. It is highly flammable, and you do not want to use it if you are pregnant or nursing. And you want to use it in a very well ventilated area. Now, with that being said, if you don't want to use anything that is quite so toxic, you can use baby oil instead. So I'm going to use a blending stump, and I'm going to dip it in my Gamsol, and I'm just going to do the orange of my pumpkin. So I'm going to start in the light areas and just kind of smooth that out nicely and blend that color. And it will kind of, it kind of dissolves the wax and takes away the pencil marks, helps to fill in the tooth on the paper so you don't see those white areas in your coloring. Okay, so I think that's good. You want to be really careful not to touch the dark areas or another color because they will get pulled in to the light, and then you won't have much definition at all. So now I'm going over the dark colors, and I'm trying to stay away from the light areas. I want to blend this out a little bit better. And if I touch that green, I would drag the green down into the orange. So you do have to be very careful. So there he goes. I think I might do the bag on this one too. So I'm going to get another clean end. And I'm just going to go along that gray. And it kind of really softens it and makes it look more like shading than with the pencil lines. Now, I'm not going to do much up here because it's too tiny of an area. But I think he looks pretty spiffy right now, so we're going to go with that. Put my Gamsol away. You want to make sure you keep it well sealed. And now I'm going to bring in my maze machine and grab my die, and we can go ahead and cut him out. Actually, I think he turned out better than on the original card. That's always a plus. And I still have not ordered myself some repositionable tape. So I have a little bit of painter's tape here. And I stuck it to my pants several times so that I got a lot of the sticky off. And let's run him through. And there's our fabulous little pumpkin. Doesn't he look adorable? Now, while I'm at it, I took a piece of lemon drop paper and I stamped the October 31st from the, where'd I put it? Oh, it's over here. Halloween Silhouettes, and I did it in lamp black. And now it does come with a die. However, I wanted to use a tag. So I'm using one of my Tag Elements dies, the largest one. And I'm going to very carefully, now it's a really tight fit. So I'm going to very carefully place that where I want it. Grab some more tape, and like I said, I'm putting it on my pants so that I get some of that tackiness off of it. And I want to tape that right in place, and I will go ahead and run it through. Now, if you wanted to, you could punch a hole in the top of your tag, but it's not going to be relevant in this particular case. I'm just going to glue a bow on top. I'm not going to go through the tag. All right, let's get all of this stuff out of our way here. Get all our elements. And we should be ready to assemble our card. So I'm going to use a black licorice base for this card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it. And I'm going to use my crease tool to get a nice sharp fold. Now I'm going to grab my paper cutter, and I want to cut a mat out of this paper that is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I just love this background. It looks like fire to me. Isn't it pretty? And look at that on the black. Gorgeous. You can see I put a note on there what colors I used so that I would remember. All right, let's go ahead and center this on the page. Just like so. And when you use the paint, you get really neat texture. It has a totally different feel to it than if it was the silks or the splashes. And I went a little over with my tape runner. Now we're going to use this absolutely awesome piece of our fall, is it the Fall Fest? Yes, prints. And it is 5 1/4 by 3 inches. And I'm going to place this right through the middle. So I'll take my adhesive and go ahead and place this where I want it. Now this is another cute card that you could send to a grandchild or niece or nephew, and I think I really put that on there crooked. So I'm going to take my palette knife and carefully try this again. I tell you what, I have astigmatism, and so everything I see as straight is crooked, and it makes it really hard to get things nice and straight and even where you want them. So I'm going to put my little pumpkin here, but I'm going to use craft glue for him. And if you wanted to pop these out, you certainly could. I'm just doing mine flat. They go through the mail a little bit easier that way. So I'm just going to place him right over here. And I can use a block, and that will hold him in place. Now I'm going to take my October 31st, and I'm going to place this on an angle on the other side of my card. And again, I'm just going to use some craft glue. Don't want that big blob. Get rid of that. And I'm going to place that on an angle over here. And that will hold that in place. I'm going to take some candy apple twine, and I'm going to make a bow. Whoops. And I've showed you several times in my previous videos how to make this bow, and so has Richard Gray, has shown it many, many times. And of course this is stiff, so it keeps popping out of where I want it to go. There we go. And I'm going to pull it tight, 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 tight. And there we have our multi-loop bow. And I will trim our edges a little bit there. And using a glue dot, I really like using the glue dots for attaching these bows. They work really, really well. And I'm going to put it just up here at the top where a hole would be if there was a hole in the tag. So there we have it. Our cute little Halloween card. Halloween is for candy, because that is what this card is all about. And hold on just a second, please, while I turn off my phone, which I thought I had already done. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. Again, here's another angle of the card. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, remember, please, that all of our, well, not all, but we're having right now our media mix promotion, where some of our multimedia products are on sale 20% off, which includes a brand new product that we carry, which is the gel press. That is so much fun to use. I think you should get one and try it. It will open up a whole new world for backgrounds and unique patterns and designs in your card making. So I want to thank you all for joining me. All of the information and products that I used on these cards will be listed on my blog, astrokeofgenius.blogspot.com, and I will add that information underneath the video. So please check it out. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss a single crafty little thing that I do here, and that you don't miss any of our promotions and sales and events that are coming up. So again, thank you for watching me. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.